Hi guys, it's Drea. Happy Halloween. This video should be going up right on Halloween and it is my October hits and misses. I wanted one more chance to wear my skeleton earrings before the month was over and my little spider ring I got from the dollar store. Can you believe that was only like $1? So cool, so cool. These I got from H&M in case you're wondering. Anyway, so I have my hits and misses for the month. October was an interesting month because there were a lot of new releases, there was a lot of new stuff I was trying, and I had so many favorites. So what I ended up doing was I split it up into a drugstore favorites video, which is already up on my channel, and I'll link to that if you missed it. But I just had so much stuff across the board, it would have been way too much in one video. So I did all the drugstore stuff already, and this will be all high-end. I don't normally do that. Normally I mix everything together, but there's just so much stuff this month. And I also have two fails, well, one fail and one just kind of an update for you. But let's start out with some really good stuff. This palette, this is the Satan Center palette from Kat Von D. I'm gonna say a few bad things about this palette. They're not really bad, it's more like constructive criticism, and then I'm going to tell you why I still really like it. So this is the limited edition holiday release for this year. I did a full like tutorial on this. If you're interested, I will link that. So number one, first thing that is annoying about this palette is the way it opens up. It's a really cute design, like the way it opens like church doors, and it's got the two mirrors, but it's not practical for use. Like it's very difficult to hold it because you kind of have to hold it down here, and then these doors are flapping all over the place. So that's number one. You can completely close them if you want to. I do worry about the hinges, you know, over time with wear, kind of wearing down and breaking because it is cardboard. The other thing with this palette is it is a very challenging layout. So they didn't make it easy to kind of come up with looks. I wouldn't say this is a beginner palette. I consider myself intermediate, definitely not an expert when it comes to eyeshadow, but definitely intermediate where I can put together some very original and interesting looks, and I still struggle with this a lot because of the layout. It's like so bizarrely laid out with different colors and finishes all over the place. And this shade here, Relic, is one of the most stunning golds I've ever seen. I already swatched it earlier. It is so stunningly beautiful. I used it the other day in kind of a sunset look, and it was so effortless to use that shade. So this is definitely for people who are willing to invest more time into their eyeshadow looks, step out of the box, definitely a lot more than maybe your standard kind of smoky eye palette or neutral eye palette for sure. But if you are like me and you like to get creative and colorful and that kind of thing, you will love this. So the next favorite for the month is definitely the Natasha Denona Lila palette. Now, by no means do I think that everybody should go rush out and buy this. It is definitely very expensive and it's kind of like an investment. And it's definitely only for people who love playing with like purples and pinks. So that is me, and that is why I rushed out and bought this as soon as it came out, because I love me some purple eyeshadow. It is definitely my favorite space to play in when it comes to color. So this is just up to standard for Natasha Denona shadows. They are beautifully blendable, pigmented, like all the shimmers and satins are so rich and they go on the eye exactly like they look in the pan. They're so easy to use. My only complaint about this palette is that these mattes here, this one in particular and this one in particular, are so similar, and then these two are also very similar, and there's no kind of lighter peachy transition or even like a light brown transition shade. These two actually are quite deep once they actually go on the eye. They're kind of more mid-tone brown but leaning a little bit deeper, and so there's nothing to really use as a transition shade. That is really my only complaint, but I've been having a lot of fun playing in this. It's definitely become a favorite. So that's it for my eyeshadow favorites. One little random thing, but I wanted to mention it because I know it's still available. This eyelash curler from Shuamura. This is part of their Super Mario Bros. Holiday collaboration or just holiday collection. It's really so fun if you're nostalgic for this kind of thing like me. I mean, I think everybody since the 80s has grown up with Mario anyway, so if you're like 38 or younger, you probably grew up with some version of Mario, but this was like from the OG original Mario, Super Mario Bros. And it makes me happy to use this. The other thing I will say is that this fits my eye shape so well. I have used different versions of eyelash curlers. Some of them definitely fit my eye better than others. Some of them I have to be super careful or I feel like I'm gonna pinch my eyelid. So if you have similar shaped eye to me, know that this will work for you. Another favorite is this from Bare Minerals. I did a lip swatch video with this, so I'll link it if you want to see all the different colors in this. But this is the Go Nude or Make a Statement mini lip set for holiday. This is such a good value. It's basically a $100 value, well, in Canadian dollars, it's a $100 value for $45 on the Sephora website. And you get 4 of the Gen Nude formula, and then you get 4 of the, what is it called? Statement Luxe Shine formula. I'm not going to swatch all of them, but just as an example, this is the packaging for the Gen Nude. It's gold, it's got the little XO on it, which is so cute. And then for the Statement Shine formula, it's like a matte black packaging with a little gold lip on it. So cute. I love the packaging. It's so cool. I personally love lipstick minis because it is so rare for me to go through a full-size lipstick, like so rare, but yet I love having the variation in color and finishes that minis give you. So I love me a good mini lip set. These Gen Nude, this formula is really nice. It is definitely super moisturizing. It's just like your lips but better, and different variations of color of course can be different for everybody, but they're just so pretty. And then these ones, the Statement, I keep forgetting the name, the Statement, what Statement? The Statement Luxe Shine lipsticks. That is kind of too generic of a descriptive name. I think they should really name them something else, if I'm being honest, because I cannot remember that. But anyway, they're just really nice, like colorful statement lips, but they do have a shine. They aren't across the board fully opaque. They kind of go on a little bit sheer in some cases, but they're really fun. Like, it's just a fun way to play with color. Since we're talking about lips, let me just tell you about 2 other lip favorites this month. And I'm not wearing any of my favorites today because they just kind of didn't really work with the eyeshadow look, but I really wanted to because I love these 2 colors, finishes, everything. So this is the Too Faced Peach Kiss. They don't have the name of it on here. Of course, I'll link everything below, but it's the peach lineup of lipsticks that they just came out with. The packaging is so pretty. Like, look at this packaging. It's kind of vintage looking. It's got the color on the top with a little peach on it. And then inside you've got the bullet. And then on the inside, the little peaches are like engraved in the bullet, and it does smell like kind of peaches and cream. It's got a really nice scent. Anyway, this is Drunk Dial. This actually came in the Sephora, what was it called? Their value set, which was all statement lips. That's what it looks like. That's Drunk Dial. It's just this gorgeous, beautiful, saturated, purpley violet shade. I love it. It looks great on too. And then this one I've been loving. This is the Bare Minerals Statement Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Devious, which, number 1, I love that name. But number 2, I just love this color and this formula. This color is very similar to Drunk Dial. I think you could tell where I like to live when it comes to lip colors in the fall. So I definitely love like a purpley, deep purple in the fall. Anyway, these smell like chocolate milkshakes. They smell amazing, and that's not a very good swatch, but it actually does go on the lip very even. They are not transfer proof, but they last a really long time, and they do dry down fairly matte, so I love that color. I don't think I mentioned this in my last month's favorites. If I did, oh well, I love it that much to favorite this every month of the year. This is from Lancome. This is their new dual finish highlighter in the shade Sparkling Peach. So they have 5 different shades, I think, and I have swatched all of them, but this is really the only one that actually spoke to me. This one is super intense. This is the highlight that I'm wearing today. I think you can see it is a very beaming highlight. So this is a dual finish highlighter. I'm not really sure why they call it that. I think it's because you can use it wet or dry. There is a heavy swatch of it on my hand. But what I like to do, the way I like to use this, is I will grab just my regular highlighting brush, put it on my cheek. It's very diffused when you do it that way. It can actually look really natural. But then what I'll do is just take my finger, just kind of like I'm swatching, and lightly tap it in the spots where I want it to be very intense, and then I blend that out lightly, so it actually ends up looking pretty good. I really like the way it looks. This is the packaging. It's just kind of your standard Lancome packaging. It's very sleek, but there's nothing, you know, not a whole lot to it, but it does have a full mirror. It's a lot of product in here. This is 5.2 grams of product. I just love this. This has now become right up there with my favorite highlighter of all time, which is the 002 by Dior. Like, I cannot stop using this. I have to put it in my drawer or I will not be able to stop using it. I won't get use out of anything else in my collection. That's how much I love this. This is definitely not a fall blush, but this is when I've been using it, so we'll talk about it. So this is the Benefit California blush. This is one of their regular box blushes, but it's their newest one they just came out with. The packaging is so cute. I mean, it's so retro, vintage, 60s, so cool. I love it. And I really love the product too. So this is a very, very peachy, just beautiful flush on your cheeks. It's kind of your standard peachy pink, but I just love me a good peachy pink, and I've just really been loving this. It did originally have a gold overspray, which as you can see is fully gone now, and once the overspray is gone, it's actually, I don't want to call it matte, it's definitely not matte, but it's definitely more of a satin. There's no sparkle in it once that overspray is gone. It's just more of like a luminous glow, but no real sparkle to it. And I picked up this concealer. This is the YSL All Hours Concealer. I have the YSL foundation, the All Hours foundation, and I like it, but I don't love it. So when I picked this up, I expected to have the same result. I expected to like it, but I didn't think I was gonna be blown away. I am blown away by this concealer. It is amazing. I've been using this now for about a month, and I can say this is like right up there with my top 3 favorite concealers ever. Like, this is so amazing. It's full coverage, but it's very creamy when you first apply it. So if you are familiar with Tarte Shape Tape, that is a very thick, full coverage, but kind of drier formula. And for example, the Estee Lauder Double Wear is a very full coverage, very thin but dry formula. This is like a very full coverage, creamy formula, which I find very rare. I find creamy coverage concealers tend to be more natural coverage or like sheer coverage in some cases, but this is a full coverage creamy concealer. It's so nice. I love the way it feels. It's just got your standard doe foot, nothing special about it. I don't know why I'm smelling it, but anyway, it is completely full coverage. I have been loving the results this has given me. The first time I used it with a powder that it did crease with, but I've since used it like with my RCMA No Color powder or my Kat Von D translucent powder, and I have had no creasing issues at all when I use those. So I really think the first time I used it, the issue I had was the powder I used and not the concealer. So as long as you have a trusty powder to use under your eye, you should have no issues at all. So that is it for all of my hits for the month. I have one update and one fail. Let's talk about the update first. This is the Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder in the shade Pink Haze. So they have 2 versions of this. I don't have the other one. This is the only one I have. It is a pink translucent setting powder. It definitely has a brightening effect to it. So I think you could see like it's got some pigment to it. I'm trying to see in my own viewfinder there. I think you could see that. The reason I bought it is because I figured it would brighten under the eye. Here's what I found, and I have been using this now for like 2 months, maybe 3 months almost. When you use it as a setting powder under your eye, when you first apply it right on top of concealer, it still looks pink. It doesn't give you kind of that brightening effect that I would expect, like kind of how it is on my hand here. Now, that could be because I have very dark circles. It might work differently on somebody who doesn't have dark circles. But on me personally, I still see that pinkness to it. Not a brightening effect, but just pink. And as I continue and put on all my makeup, by the end when I've got liner and lashes and everything, you don't really notice the pink anymore. It kind of just looks like a regular powder, but there's no real brightening effect that comes through. So all in all, I don't want to call this a fail because it does its job as a setting powder. It just doesn't do anything different than any other setting powder that I have. Like in the long run, the pink really doesn't make any kind of seeable, that's not a word, but I'm going to use it, any seeable difference under my eye. Like, you can't see a difference from any other powders. And my fail for this month is very surprising because everything I've heard about this, I expected to be completely blown away. I have friends who this is like a holy grail foundation for them, but this is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Makeup Stick. And I just expected to have the same results as everybody that I've seen talk about this, where they absolutely love it. And because I have really oily skin, I thought this was going to work really well on me, but it just is so dry. It settles into my pores. It was so unblendable. You could just see the dryness of it. It just didn't work. So it is just like a foundation stick. I bought it in the same shade that I have all my other Lancome foundations, which, by the way, Lancome foundations are like some of my favorites ever. So another reason I thought I was going to love it. But this was just so dry, and for me to be super oily and say that, like, I don't understand how anybody, like, how this works on people, but it must be something about my skin that this isn't working well with. Now, what I will say is I mixed this with my Hourglass Vanish Stick foundation, so I did about half and half, and it was perfectly fine because the Hourglass foundation is a little bit creamier. It just is a little bit more emollient, and mixing it with this one ended up being a fantastic finish. So I know I'll be able to use it up, but this on its own just didn't work for me. So I don't really have any TV show or book favorites this month. I have just started watching Stranger Things as of yesterday, like season 1 Stranger Things. I know season 2 is coming out. It's probably out already by the time this video goes up, but yeah, I don't know. I'm late to that one. I think it's because I hate scary movies. I hate scary movies because they have always stayed with me, and I just can't shake scenes from movies, so I just tend to not even bother in the first place. And so when this show came out, I expected that it was gonna be super scary, but then I kept hearing from people it's more kind of suspense and not like horror. So I decided to give it a shot. So I am enjoying the first, like, I think I'm on episode 3 right now, so I'm enjoying that. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of favorites this month. So I want to hear from you. What are your favorites? Makeup, books, TV, I don't care. Just let me know what your favorites are for this month. And I also have a favor ask of you guys, which is I'm just trying to do new things on my channel, different things on my channel. I want to give you guys what you want. I just want to step out of the box more. It's not that I'm in a rut, and it's not that I'm not enjoying what I'm doing on YouTube. I definitely do, but I just want to, I don't know, I want to do different things. So I'm in a mood to do different things. So let me know in the comments, are there any ideas you have for cool concepts? Or maybe it's not even like an out of the box idea. Maybe you just want to see a certain tutorial on a certain palette. Whatever you want to see, please let me know in the comments, because I want to bring you what you want to see. So that would be a huge favor. I would appreciate it if you would just do that for me. But I guess that's it for today. So it is Halloween. If you are watching this on Halloween, I also wanted to mention, if you have no costume, I did a tutorial on a Halloween makeup look that you need no costume for, so I'll link that below too. So I hope you and your family have a very safe and fun Halloween. It is definitely a fun holiday. I am trying to lose weight, and Halloween always comes around every year and messes up my diet plan. So I don't know, hit me up on Snapchat and Twitter and scold me if you see me eating candy. Okay, so that is it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.